It's Wednesday. Great to see you guys. Holy cow, you guys are already lining up, ready to go. I don't have a free bag of rice this morning, but I do have some stuff to talk about. Looking forward to your calls, your comments, your questions, your jokes.
Come on.
Absolutely want to hear them. It is Good Morning Marianas. It's Wednesday. It is March 26th. It is 7:22 a.m. and it's a beautiful day in Saipan. We're going to hear all about it from Landon Aidlet here in about 7 minutes. Right now it's 79 degrees out here in Saipan, and we are looking at a beautiful day today. You're looking live at Beach Road in Oleai. Traffic moving just fine. We still have bulacons and tadzascons. Maybe that's something we can get from Great Harvest. We do have Mike Sablon coming on the show. He's not going to be out until Friday, though. Today's kind of a big day. He's not able to make it with us today, but we're looking forward to having him on Friday. Talk about a big donation Triple J made to the folks who are heading off to Palau for the big games this summer. Got to be there. But it is just great to see all you guys out here. So much. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll get you a little update on what's going on with traffic right now. But we are looking at a beautiful day. High near 88 today with a nice light wind. Tonight, though, going to drop down into the 70s. That's right. Break out your butterfly collars and your bell-bottom jeans because it's going to be chilly out there for sure. All right. Well, this whole week looks like it's going to be amazing. Again, we're going to hear from Landon. He's going to tell us all about it in just a little bit. Just a little bit. So we're going to get over to traffic and let you know what else is going on. I mean, you're able to see what's happening right now, but we're going to show you what's happening everywhere else here in Saipan. I tell you the whole CNMI, but really, to be fair, the traffic in Tinian is looking just fine. The traffic in Rhoda is looking just fine, too. This is what we got right now, though. Right out front. You can see it's yellow, so it's still moving, but everybody in our area is just, it's actually pretty nice. For 7:24 in the morning right now, traffic is looking cherry. All right, so that's where we're looking. You can see right now on the screen, that is the former AK intersection, and not looking too bad, but just up the road, Middle Road by I-T&E, the intersection that matters for the people who believe that connections matter. It is a little slow, especially if you're coming down the hill from NMC, pushed back all the way past or by Waterloo. My goodness. That is a big traffic slowdown as people try to make their way down the hill from the college on the CMG. Let's go down Beach Road, just take a quick look around. It's going to slow down quite a bit when you're getting over there by CK's Shell Station, over there by Fish and Tackle. A little bit further south, it's a little bit touch and go all the way past Laddiebill 24-Hour Fitness. How about over there at Tun Joaquin Doi by the post office? A little slow there too, but not too bad. That's going to pick up though. And over by the intersection at Mobile by Gold Ribbon in the area of Hopwood, it's a little bit slow as well, but nothing out of the ordinary at this time. It's still drive as normal, nothing to avoid yet. Over there by Guangdong Hardware, a little slow in both directions while people are trying to get past that light, but nothing terrible to worry about. This road's looking pretty good on Monsignor Martinez, but next week at this time it won't, because that's when food stamp comes out. It's going to be crazy. All right, over there by Shell Dandan, it's slow. Yeah, it's just going to be slow. Don't expect anything fast over there. Now, the traffic backed up on the CMM, Monsignor Martinez. It's all the way to Dajon Drive. That's the little creep road behind Joten. Don't worry about it. It is only to there. It's not like it's all the way back to Maddie's or something. Coming down the hill, your traffic's going to be backed up all the way into San Vicente. And coming the other direction, folks trying to get up the hill. It's back all the way to, oh my gosh, it's all the way slow back down the Twins Market. So that's going to be a slow go. Let's go San Vicente. It is slow over there as folks are trying to get out of Dan and make their way to the old roundabout. And it's it's that time. It's that time when people want to drop off their kids over there at the school, so it's a little bit slow over there. Just be careful when you're going through there. Remember, that is a school zone on Issa Drive through there. You do have to drive slow, the flashing lights and all that stuff. Be careful, man. People are trying to get their kids to school. You don't want to be that guy, right? All right, everything through Popco looks okay. A little bit slow over there by Tamat Ranch. Man, that is not the way I read it first when I saw it. Yeah, the Cagman intersection looks pretty good. Tamalanya Ranch. All right. Hey, so how about the Rodeo Drive of the CNMI? That's right, the Capitol Hill Shopping District. It's a little bit slow through there as people make their way past Capitol Hill Market, Zenu Market, and New Sarah Market. It's just a little slow through there. It is a winding, slow roll as you're making your way on the bottom side of Top Chow on your way to the legislature as everyone tries to get their little quick grub on their way into the office. Over at the bottom of Issa Drive, where it meets Middle Road, it's a little bit backed up there too, but it's really just a bunch of people waiting at the light. That's not so bad. That's actually pretty good. How about further down the road on Middle Road in Puerto Rico, where it is definitely congested. People going in both directions right now. A lot of people trying to get north are getting there, but getting there slowly. So again, it's not a race, although that is the fastest place where you could drive in Saipan legally. You want to be careful when you're going through there. There's a lot of people there. Oh, but the new section of the road is so nice. Yeah. You don't be that guy. It's okay. All right, let's get back to it. Over there, you want to know where it's really slow? Just keep going by the tennis courts. Oh, my goodness. It is slow in every direction, unless you're coming from Micro Beach roadside, then it's pretty good. Nobody seems to want to go to the intersection that way. Everybody else, though, it's Moida. Folks who are trying to go north on Middle Road all the way from the museum north all the way to that light is going to be slow go. So just expect it. You know, don't think you're going to get around somebody by that 99-cent store because somebody's going to take a left turn. Guaranteed. Right? And somebody's also going to take a right into Upper Mija. Look, there's no way to do it unless you have a scooter or a motorcycle. Just be prepared to be locked in if you're on Middle Road in that section. All right? And going past all the way to the museum, it's going to be a little touch and go for everybody. It's also a little slow all the way down the road. Just a little bit. It starts to get a little congested, but you finally find some salvation as you get through Gualarai and out to Quartermaster Road, and then all the way you find yourself down by I-T&E. All right, folks, well, there's your first look at traffic, and look at outside now. Oh, goodness. That is not where you want to be out in front of our office. You can just pop in here and say hi. That's right. Bring a coffee. I just popped in my last little Keurig coffee. I got to run to the store and get those little coffee cups, those K-cups. By the way, real quick, I was going to put this up on the Saipan buy, sell, swap thing. I'm going to sell my, wait, I'm not going to sell it unless Luisa wants it. Luisa, you said something about wanting a Keurig before. If you want it, I'm going to take the one from our house and bring it over here to the studio. So if you want the one that I've got in the studio, it's yours. If you want it. Luisa Cabrera, it's absolutely yours if you want it. All right. So anyway, let's get down to what's going on. What's that? It's 7:30. All right. So it is time for us to give Landon Alet a call. He's got to be ready. He knows that 7:30 is the time. So I'm going to give him a ring right meow. All right. Here, guys. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. What is that? Ooh, I know it's such a cool haircut. I did not get the haircut from my regular place, and it's only because I've called. They're just so freaking popular, and I'm not really good at scheduling haircuts in advance. It's like when I was doing that, the Women's Summit yesterday, I wanted to make sure I came in with a nice, clean haircut going into it. And I could not get my regular guy at my regular place. And it's my fault for not trying to schedule in advance. Some things you just can't schedule in advance. I mean, that's what I try to rationalize it with. But I would rather just be able to pop in. But my guy's too popular over there at Fresh Factory. So this is what I got. It's not a bad substitute haircut, but it's, you feel a little dirty. I try to give the same business to the same guy who's been taking care of me for a long time. I just couldn't make it happen this time. I know. I'm a failure. All right, let's give Landon a call and find out what's going on with our weather. Landon from the National Weather Service. We're getting him all fired up. Oh, he's on there. Look at that. He's reorienting the screens, getting us all started up. Hold on, I've got you there. Now I just need to get you on the screen so everyone can actually see you. But it's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Brad?
All right, I got to turn up the volume. You try it again?
How are you doing, Brad?
Yes, that works out great. All right, hold on. I'm just switching to you. Nope, that's not it. Oh, you know what? I remember what it is. There's this funky thing on this where I have to use a different. Here we go. I got to turn on the display. There we go. Ready? Hold on. I'm going to get you here in just a second.
I'm glad you're doing all the clicking and not me.
Well, I can figure this stuff out. That's the good thing. Going forth and doing this time and time again. There's so many different things that change with this stuff. The software, getting caught up with all the different things and different ways to pull you in onto the screen.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun stuff.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of technology, math, or science, but here I am, nevertheless.
Hey, you've already got a bunch of guys and gals weighing in to say good morning to you, folks who are watching.
Good morning, Saipan, everyone up there.
All right, well, this is Landon, and he is our man of weather. And also, this guy builds all kinds of stuff only to break it down again, just in the name of charity and creativity.
Absolutely. And we got our next event, project number 6 with the Tower for Humanity. It's going to be at the Anderson Air Force Space Elementary School coming up on April 11th. We're going to be doing a small scale project. So again, we talked about it last week. It's going to be kind of a small scale, maybe use about a quarter of the total collection of logs. We hope to get it built all in about a 2.5, 3 day period, because then I go to night shifts immediately after we finish the structure that evening. So it's going to be a very long, busy week. We have a conference going on Guam with the UOG Island Sustainability Conference. That's going to be the week prior. So I've got folks that I'll be meeting up with from the Marshall Islands to tour them around the weather office. If you're ever on Guam, give me a call, give me a holler, and we'll set you up with a tour to the National Weather Service. We always like to get students and guests to the islands over to our office just to see who we are and what we do, and that we are an asset to all of the region, not just Guam, but also the Mariana Islands, all of you there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the weather. It's going to be a mighty fine week and weekend for Guam and the CNMI going through next week as the dry season conditions persist. But I'm going to go to this screen shortly, but I want to take you to these images that I communicated yesterday in our weekly weather outlook. And that is, of course, Invest 96W. And so there was a little bit of angst from folks messaging me yesterday. Oh my gosh, it's so early in the year to have a tropical disturbance of 96W. But it's important to note that we see these throughout the year. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center does open upwards of 100 and some invest areas. And so this is just a typical process for gathering information on areas of sustained disturbed weather or a weak surface circulation. And so only about a third of those tropical disturbances become something more formidable into a tropical cyclone. And so 96W, I think this is probably the 7th tropical disturbance has been opened up as an invest. I don't think we've gone through the 90 series, and that's 90, 91, 92, all the way up to 99. And then it goes back to 90. So it's a cyclical process throughout the year. We're at 96W for the year so far. And of course, we had 94 and 95 back in mid-February. So this is just a procedural process just to get more assets and resources to collect data on whatever it is that's out there. But this is more or less great news for Western Micronesia, where Yap was getting quite a bit of showers and thunderstorms yesterday, bringing much needed rainfall. This is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center homepage, not showing that 96W. When it's rated as sub-low, that means that it's not on this public-facing webpage. So you're not going to see that. Now, if it were to be upgraded to a low for development, medium, or high, then it would be posted to this homepage for the public to view. But this is rated a sub-low, which means that significant development is not expected, and that's the good news. And here's a closer look with Guam right up in the upper right-hand corner. And this overall circulation, this is about 24 hours ago, showing the belt of showers and thunderstorms right over Yap. This is going to be significant drought mitigation for them. The catchments are running full. Hopefully the reservoir over there in Yap is also filling up. I'm going to be getting some communication with the DCO later this morning, but I was talking to them yesterday, and they were extremely extremely happy with all the rainfall. And so we're going to come over to this interactive map. And what I want to show you is this is that disturbance. Now it's just to the west northwest of Palau and west of Yap there. This is Guam and the CNI right there. So hopefully it's not too far for you to see. But this 96W is going to be tracking generally northwest and along the eastern side of the Philippines. So if you're going to be going to the Philippines, might be some showers over there. But here locally, very, very dry across this region. So this is all dry air. And I'm going to show you the moisture content and the water vapor shortly. But looking to our east, we are looking at a lot of showers and thunderstorms across Yap, and this is just the international or the intertropical convergence zone. This is where those winds come together from the northeast and also the southeast, and where they converge, this is where you get that convection. So think about behind your shoulder, Brad, when the traffic backs up on the highway, it backs up horizontally down the street, but in the atmosphere, it's all fluid, and when the air gets backed up, it goes vertical, and that's where we get those showers and thunderstorms. And so coming back to this, this is our prize tool over here, the Weather Network, showing the showers and thunderstorms across Koshrai and southeast of Pompeii. This is Koshrai right here, a lot of showers and thunderstorms. No threat to us. This is just ITCZ action. There's nothing formidable to come up over here, but we're going to look at the water vapor. This is the moisture content. All that yellow, that's very, very dry air. Anytime you see showers, it's probably going to be riding in at the lower levels of the atmosphere. We're talking about 15,000, 20,000 feet up in the atmosphere. Light to moderate showers at best, enough to get things wet, and then it moves right on by. So we have the Saipan and Tinian up there, very dry. So we're not going to be seeing much rainfall, at least through the weekend. We could see a little uptick in moisture Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with a little trade wind feature pushing through, but otherwise continued dry conditions through the weekend.
You know, you had the other screen on, not the water vapor one, but yeah, that one there. And what I was paying attention to is how you could see there's two systems, or there's like two different layers where they're going in completely opposite directions to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. And so we have the upper level winds and then also the surface winds. So at the surface, we are seeing the winds come across. These are those trade winds just pushing right across from east to west toward the islands. But in the upper atmosphere, we're talking about 25, 30,000 feet up. I'm going to change the color. Those winds are more or less flowing from, what's a good color to use? We'll go with teal. Those upper level winds are going generally from west to east. And so we're getting that veering winds, and that's helping fuel some of the moisture, the heavy showers and thunderstorms down there, a little bit of divergence aloft. And so let me show another drawing. When you have the winds converging at the surface, it goes up into the atmosphere. So where you have that atmospheric lift, that's where your clouds build. You get that moisture content increasing across the atmosphere. But where you have divergence aloft, that helps form that vacuum to pull the moisture up into the atmosphere. And that's where you get your vertical development. Those showers become heavy showers and even some thunderstorms. So this is the ideal weather setup here in the tropics.
Does that send those weather balloons up higher, faster?
Not so much, but it will help get that moisture profile, and our weather balloons will go with wherever the wind shifted. So we do not steer our balloons like some of our neighbors do, but the wind steers it and takes it where it wants. And so that's where those occasions come that our weather balloons zip off to the west into the Philippine Sea, but it gets into the westerly winds up in the atmosphere, brings it back, and eventually when the balloon pops, it could land somewhere over Guam.
No kidding. Yeah, and that's the rarity. Man,
Much like that one.
Yeah, I see that. And that's the one that you said that somebody called and said, "Hey, what's this?" and you guys picked it up, or did they come and drop it off?
Yeah, the police dropped it off.
No
Calls
kidding.
from the media, the police, and Homeland Security that morning because the resident whose yard it fell in, it was next to the Department of Corrections facility here in Manila, and they were worried. And it's like, why would it fall next to the prison? And what does it mean? And how do we have it land there versus somewhere else? And I said, anything that's open to the sky is fair play for a balloon to come landing. So we did not mean for it to hit their yard. It could have easily landed in the prison property.
Were you trying to smuggle in weather data to the prison?
But I would tell you, this is the only payload that comes on our balloons. We don't attach anything else to them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that is. I'm sure. Anyway, I loved the balloon steering. That was great. So the what else do you have going on now? Because I'll tell you. Well, here, actually, let me change that for a second. So we're moving from one house to another, and we're just about all the way in there. And we're a couple hundred feet at least higher than where we were in elevation. I want to say more than 200 feet.
Are you going to the 360 building?
Oh, I'm much higher than the 360 building. Oh no, not the office, not the office. I'm talking about where I live, like the actual house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
And it is noticeably cooler in the evenings and in the mornings. And I didn't think that just a little change of elevation was going to make that much of a difference, and it completely does.
Yeah, it'll knock off a couple of degrees. Plus, you get a little bit more of a breeze, and so you'll be able to open your windows a whole lot more than what you probably do now. So it's going to be a lot more arid and maybe a little bit drier up there.
Well,
so
yeah,
it's going to be beautiful.
You're right about the dryness as well. So I wonder though, even on the hot days, so I've noticed that I get the occasional really cool breeze that makes it up there too. Like again, like this hot weather that we've had the last few days, while moving over the weekend, standing outside, feeling the heat and then feeling a regular breeze. But every once in a while, that breeze that comes up is several degrees cooler. Is there a weather phenomenon that describes that?
Yeah, lifting air. So it's coming up the slope and it cools off. And then when air comes on the backside, more so with the large amounts like the Rockies, we're talking about the central plains of the US, when the air comes down, it sinks, it warms up. And so you're just going to feel a little bit more of a coolness to it. It's not going to be icy and freezing like that, but there could be nights, especially when you get these shear lines in the January, February, March, April timeframe. You get the shear lines and that breeze could almost feel borderline icy. So if you're happen to be swimming up there or washing the vehicle and you get some water on you, you might get a little bit of a chill at that point until it dries off.
Not a complaint at all. I'll take it. I'm definitely enjoying it, and that it's such a pleasant surprise when it comes in. I'm like, ooh, am I just standing in the right spot? Like, did it just blow through a shaded area? What happened? And it was just lovely. So I'll take that all day.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's great for your AC use and your power bill overall.
Oh, we have used it once, and I'm like, it's way too cold, and now we haven't used it. Hey, and real quick, a couple nights ago, had a brilliant red sky for a sunset. And just run us through that. What are the atmosphere factors that give us that beautiful red hue?
Yeah, definitely. When you have those layers of clouds, especially in the higher levels, that cirrus, all that light filters through those clouds in the higher atmosphere, especially the farther west it is, and that gives you a nice glow. Ideally, for your best colors, you want a little bit of volcanic fog or something high in the atmosphere. And that can either come from Kilauea and the Hawaiian Islands, or it can come from the Philippines if we have a good sizable eruption. A Taal volcano did unleash, I think that was January 2020, and it put some stuff high up in the atmosphere. And so they gave us some pretty good colors. But whenever you have junk high up in the atmosphere and all those solar rays, that light comes through the the altitudes, yeah, you get some good colors. So anytime we have those clouds, which looks like it's not going to be too likely today, but we'll probably get some colors out there, but not much to speak of in the atmosphere across our region right now in the upper levels.
So it looks like we got at least a few more days of great clear weather.
Absolutely. Now, keep in mind, we do have a new moon phase coming up. That's going to be on the 29th. So we're going to have some higher high tides and some lower low tides. I don't expect any inundation problems coming from that moon phase, but those tides will be running higher and lower than normal. So keep that in mind, especially if you're going to be along the coast. In the absence of any major wave events, we should be problem-free across the region. So keep that in the back of your head. Surf-wise, we're going to have a moderate risk of rip currents along north and east-facing reefs. So never turn your back to the ocean, because larger wave sets can come in and cause stronger currents. So always keep your eye to the ocean if you're going to be out in the waters, and always have personal flotation device.
Yeah, we have. Hold on, I'm getting a little double action here on the audio. I'm just going through to check some of the comments that came in, and where is it? Says this Landon Adlet's already decorating the stairwell for Christmas. Talk about the cold weather. Someone else coming in, he's like, "What's all that clouds?" You know, they were asking about what's on the screen. So yes, that's what that was. Some more folks just tuned in to say good morning to you. And someone's like, "What is that, snow?" And I'm like, "No, I think we're going to be snow free."
Snow free, absolutely. Yeah, just another continuation of the dry season. Beautiful weather ahead, so nothing much to speak of. This is the off season, so enjoy it while it lasts. We'll be heating up pretty nicely in about another 1 to 2 months, typical for this region. Our hottest months of the years usually around May, June, July, and August. So get ready for that. Enjoy the coolness while it lasts.
Awesome. And yeah, I know you had a trip canceled or changed recently. Do you have a trip coming up here anytime anytime that's scheduled?
Man, right now I have no official work travel plans. Hawaii for last week was canceled. A trip to Saipan next month is canceled. I need to talk to Homeland Security and figure out a game plan for the rest of the year and how we can get some travel with the current state of things in the federal government. But I will have some personal travel coming up this summer. I'm going to get eyes and hands on to a tower, a real life tower that I want to build in October here on Guam. Going to be in Dubai.
Whoa.
So we're going to have fun with that. That's the plan.
That is amazing. Well, if you wanted a real challenge, you should check out our air traffic control tower. It's still just barely off the ground on the at the Saipan International Airport. It's a mobile air traffic control tower that's sitting on top of a container, and not like
I saw that.
It's a good look. It's a good look. Like after they're done rehabbing the storm damaged air traffic control tower that's still not there since U2.
Yeah, that's quite a storm legacy, and we're going to be talking with FEMA later this week. I've got a meeting with them. I think it's tomorrow. I just got the invitation, but we're going to be looking back at Mawar. And one of my take-home themes for the government of Guam and FEMA here is that Mawar could have been our U2, but it wasn't. We were so lucky here on Guam with the passage of Mawar when it weakened in the 24 hours before its approach. We were looking pretty grim, and it looked like it could have been our U2, but that was not the case. U2 is still the monster in the region. And so, yeah, that had quite a legacy for Tinian and Saipan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's all relative, too. I mean, like, no matter if it didn't have the same size or strength or anything, it still dealt Guam quite a wallop. And for them, that was the storm of the generation for those guys.
That's absolutely it. And so that's why we take this off season to message and communicate and look at things, review things, learned lessons from events past. And so that's what we're going to be doing with Guam Homeland Security, FEMA, and also the military. I think that's also going to be that we're going to have a discussion on Friday. Still too early for a seasonal outlook, but I'm going to try to get that officially kicked off with some of our planning partners at the Climate Prediction Center and also other entities within the NOAA Weather Service realm to get our seasonal outlook. And I hope to have that released around June 1st in sync with the Atlantic and the National Hurricane Center. And so I'm trying to get that linked with the mainland United States. That adds a lot of weight and priority to our fledgling document that I hope to make it an official NOAA bulletin in another 1 to 2 years. So this has been like a 5-year process.
Do you think that we could start trying to submit names for possible typhoon or storm names? Maybe we can get a couple, like
I know the people that make the names. I know the people in the committee that selects the names. It's complicated, but it's not impossible.
Like if we could get I don't know how to do that. We get a contest, name that storm.
Well, that's exactly what I like to do. And we had a name from Micronesia, from the FSM, that was a Yapese name, and that had to be retired because of some significant damage and casualties wherever that specific storm made landfall a couple years ago. And so the Typhoon Committee, which is tasked with maintaining that list of names from 14 member countries, including the United States, um, that name had to be retired. And so the FSM was tasked with replacing that name. And so, in order to go through the vetting process, they have to submit 5 names to be vetted by the Typhoon Committee in their annual session in February. And they go through with all the members and vet those 5 names, and then they select one to replace that expired name or the retired name. And so, what YAP did, they had a island-wide competition to submit names and then votes. So it was like friends and family and relatives and stuff like that. So whenever we have a name from the Mariana Islands, we're going to probably do the same thing. I like to get the community input, the engagement, and see what people come up with, and then we hold it to a vote. Ideally, we want something cultural.
I think Typhoon Tobot makes a lot of sense. He is the tent man from Dan Dan providing shady solutions. And what provides more shady solutions than a really thick, dense cloud cover? I think this is the right thing. And
that sounds shady to me.
And that could be like his marketing thing. Unlike Tobot's work, this storm blows. Like that could be absolutely, that could be his thing. All right. I think I'll let you go on that one. I'll save you. I'll save you from that. All right. It says, but Typhoon Tobot will only blow by people's yard and clean it. Oh, that's nice. That's great. I
goals. That's a goal in life. I hope it mows my sword grass.
Storm goals. Oh, yeah. Dude, you're going to need something stronger than Moar to clean up your yard, from what you've been telling us.
I was telling some of the staff yesterday, where I used to have grass, I now have like trees with a 2-inch diameter trunks right now. And so I got to get that under control or put Christmas lights on it soon.
I love it. All right. Well, hey, Landon, I want to say thanks again for being here with us and letting us know what's going on with the weather. I mean, we could just stick our head outside, but you give us that the real explanation and the long range look. So thanks so much.
And now you know the rest of the story.
The Paul Harvey of the weather world right here. And now the rest of the story. A young meteorologist walking down the street. All right. Well, thanks so much. And we'll check in with you again next week unless something crazy happens between now and then.
Absolutely. Talk to you all soon.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for being with us today. All right. That's Landon Aylett from the National Weather Service, our favorite meteorologist. You hear that? Everyone else at National Weather Service, he's our favorite. That's what you get. All right. Well,
happy Landon Day.
Happy Landon. Super Typhoon Landon blowing through. Coming for us. All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break and let our friend go. I want to say thanks so much to Landon for being with us here again today. And we're going to get you guys more headlines from around the world and CNMI. But first, we're going to give you some messages from our sponsors. One of our sponsors, by the way, PHI Pharmacy, hooking us up with these MRE protein drinks. Oh, my gosh. All right. Ooh, hold on. See if the focus. This camera likes to focus on me too much. Here, let's pull it back. All right. Well, we'll show it to you again. MRE, this is a product from Redcon 1. And it's a protein shake. This one is the cookies and cream flavor. Good thing is, for me and for you, that it's got 0 grams of sugar and no whey. So not no whey like W-A-Y, like W-H-E-Y. Like, in fact, if there was going to be a protein that was made out here in the CNMI, they could call it Marianas Whey. It would be awesome. But this drink right here, this one carton, contains 40 grams of protein. And protein's important to help you build muscle and fight off the fat. But it's also to help you preserve the muscle that you have. And when you're starting to get older, like me, you want to keep that whatever muscle you got going. So protein is the way to keep that going. Anyway, if you can get these now for $3 at PHI at their locations in Dandan, Cagman, and Garapan. And if you have a gym membership, you're going to get 25% off as well. In fact, you can get that if you go to any gym, but the best gym that you should go to, our sponsor, Laddie Built 24-Hour Fitness. Doesn't matter what time you go, they are open for you based on your schedule. Laddie Built 24-Hour Fitness. located right down the road from us on Beach Road and CK, in the shadow, literally, of the Aquarius Beach Tower. It's the gray building with the green highlights and the great parking. That's right. Great parking in CK. Yes, they've got it over there at Laddie Belt 24-Hour Fitness. They've got, and all the classes are free if you're a member. All of them. That's right. You get yourself a trainer, you get yourself classes, you get yourself the free weights, you get the racks, you get the elliptical, you get the bikes, you get the hot sauna, you get the cold plunge. You got an octagon. No kidding. The heavy bags, you name it. Laddie Belt 24-Hour Fitness. You should go check them out. You can and tell them that you heard about it from us, because I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy with what you got. All right, guys, we'll be back with a little bit more for you right after this.
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're going to go fast.
I'm Ben Thomas. President Trump's downplaying his national security team texting a military operation plan on a Signal chat group that included a journalist.
It's just something that can happen.
The president says no one needs to apologize for the incident, in which the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg was somehow added to the chat. He tells ABC News Digital there was a lot of information about upcoming strikes in Yemen.
Weapon systems and packages and timing.
Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth dismisses Goldberg as a hack.
Nobody was texting war plans.
And at a Senate hearing,
there was no classified material that was shared.
Still, National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard and other officials got an earful from Democrats like Mark Warner, who ripped the administration for its handling of sensitive information.
Sloppy, careless.
Colorado's Michael Bennett went further.
It's an embarrassment.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says it was just a mistake.
I don't think anyone should have lost their job over that.
Democrat Ron Wyden says at least two people should.
Starting with the National Security Advisor and the Secretary of Defense.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
The Trump administration says it struck an agreement in talks with Ukraine and Russia to ensure safe navigation in the Black Sea. It ramped up 3 days of talks in Saudi Arabia on steps toward a limited ceasefire. While a comprehensive peace deal still looks distant, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised the talks, saying we're taking the right steps toward ending the war. In economic news, consumer confidence continues to fall. The Conference Board's index is down for the fourth straight month, with Americans' short-term expectations well below the threshold that can signal a potential recession. A quiet day of trading on Wall Street. The Dow edged up just 4 points, less than 0.1%. The S&P 500 rose 0.2%. The Nasdaq 0.5%. This is AP News. Recap now of last night's college basketball tournament action.
Sarah Tabiasu made a tying three-pointer late in the fourth quarter and scored 8 of her 26 points in the second overtime to help fourth-seeded Maryland outlast fifth-seeded Alabama 111-108 to advance to the Sweet 16 of the women's NCAA tournament.
It was really a fight. We went double overtime, but we just kept playing for each other.
Kiki Iriafin scored 36 as top seed USC lost star guard Juju Watkins to a first quarter knee injury, but still routed ninth seeded Mississippi State 96-59.
Respectfully, nobody cares on Mississippi State that we lost her, so I think for us it was just making sure that we got the job done.
Fellow top seed Texas beat 8th seeded Illinois 65-48. Second seeds UConn and NC State earned big wins to advance. Number 3 seeds Oklahoma, LSU, and North Carolina also prevailed. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Welcome back, Marianas. Now you are all caught up with everything that's happening in the U.S. and around the world, thanks to those updates from the Associated Press. And we got some love for our sponsors, by the way. It's interesting. We have that slide up there about the government employees, how you can get that great deal on your dental insurance with Paradise Dental. PHI will get you the stuff you need if you get it prescribed, though. But Paradise Dental, they're offering that to everybody now. That's right. Now, there are some conditions that you need to meet where it's got to go through your employer and all that other stuff, but this is great news. If you want to get more information about it, give them a call. It's 234-4040, 234-4040. And you could even go down there and get to see what the place looks like by yourself instead of just having to see the cool pictures and commercials that we show you. You're going to love them. They're so friendly. They're great. And they really want to actively be your dental service provider. Now, that's why they're advertising with us, because they want to reach you and have you come in there and check them out. They've got the most affordable dental plan in the CNMI. It's got to be the cheapest in Guam, too, even though they're not in Guam. But they've got to have customers to make that stuff work. And they don't just want, here's what they do want. They want you to go down there and find out for yourself why everybody's going down there. They're awesome, and I love them, and I get to work with them, so it makes me pretty happy. So if you want to support the show, that's one way you could do it, by checking them out and seeing if they're the right one for you. They believe they are, so go check them out. All right, guys, we got a lot of stuff to get to today. And right now, it's a beautiful day, too. It's 82 degrees. We're looking at a high near 88 today. It's going to be a nice light wind out of the east, 9 to 11 miles per hour. And as Landon said, it's going to be nice and dry and relatively beautiful for the next few days as well. We're creeping up toward the weekend. Man, having a short week this week is kind of wild. We had that Covenant Day holiday on Monday, where we were still going to do the show anyway. And then, we had the emergency stuff that happened at the house. And if you guys tuned in for the Super Short Show on yesterday, before the Women's Summit, I caught you up on what was going on with that. Again, it was just crazy, but it was good, and we're squared away, and everything's awesome now. And yesterday, again, we got so lucky to be a part of the CNMI Women's Association Women's Summit, the 11th annual Women's Summit. And you know what? I was going to go into like the national stuff, but this is worth talking about, because I really enjoyed this when we were watching it, when we were there for it. Hold on, let me see if I can't just pull up her speech real quick. I talked to my daughter about it yesterday. Is that today? No, that's Friday. Tracy Guerrero's speech. She was the inspirational speaker. Tracy Guerrero, who is the general manager at Atkins Kroll.
And she gave this great speech that, man, I'm telling you, if it's not the guidelines, I know it's for the Women's Summit, but it's a great message just for life in general. I'm going to see if I can't pull it up real quick here, guys. Hold on. I got to go through a few different spots to get there.
Lashes Foundation.
Oh, there's me.
Oh, the incredible woman in our home.
Oh, that was good too. Hold on, let's get to it. There it is. I got it. All right.
Jody, don't poke my dog on when you're back here, okay?
I'm going to put this on the share screen so you guys can see it as well. In case you missed it yesterday, let me just get that share screen set up so you can see it instead of just me looking at it. But I thought she was the inspirational speaker, and holy cow, was she? She was outstanding. So here, let's get rid of that one. Let's open up this one and pick the right screen. Boom, right? No, that's not it. Is it this one? Come on, there's two. Show me the other one. You guys can just silently sit there and laugh as you're watching me go through this here. There we go. I got it. Hooray. All right, so let's make this full screen, and let's play this for you. Again, this is just Tracy Guerrero's speech from yesterday's CNMI Women's Summit, and it is going to be this broadcast. It was on the NMI News Service. But behind the screens, behind the scenes, and the cameras, you've got Jojo Alapuzzo and Johnny from Island Image and Motion, but the great team from the Marianas High School Productions, and it was great because it was all young women doing it. For the Women's Summit, it was like the best thing. So this is who we've got it from. Let me just tighten this image up a little bit so you can get more on the screen. Switch it over, and get ready. This is Tracy Guerrero's inspirational speech from yesterday's Women's Summit.
So, good morning, Hafade, Tiro, everyone. Lovely ladies in the room. This morning on my way here, I was talking to my daughter, and I said, baby, guess where I'm going? I'm on my way to give a speech at the Women's Summit. And guess what the theme is? Accelerate action. I think they picked me because I work for a car dealership. But I really just want to take a moment to appreciate this room. Because when you gather this many strong, smart, driven women together, the energy is different. It's powerful. It's like standing next to a fully charged electric vehicle, silent but capable of immense acceleration. Please give yourselves a round of applause for being here today in support of Women's Month. Thank you for coming. And before I begin, I have a quick question. How many of you have ever driven a car with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brakes at the same time? Okay, be honest, right? Now, how many of you feel like that's exactly how you've been living your life? Trying to push forward, trying to accelerate, but something, whether it's doubt, fear, expectations, exhaustion, is pressing down on the brake. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How to stop hesitating, stop holding back, and accelerate action in our own lives. And this theme aligns so well with what we're doing at Inchcape. Inchcape is the global corporation that owns Atkins Kroll. And through Inchcape's own strategic plan, ironically also titled Accelerate Plus, see all the theme here for me today? Which is all about moving forward with intention, driving change, and not just keeping up, but leading the way. And just like in business, the way that we drive action in our lives isn't just about speed, it's about direction. Because going fast in the wrong direction is just a faster way to get lost. So today, I want to talk about how we, as women, can accelerate action in a way that is powerful, sustainable, and meaningful. And to do that, we need to reframe how we see vulnerability, authenticity, boundaries, self-worth, and grace. So, to continue on with the vehicle analogy, let's make a roadmap for ourselves. Number one, the first thing we need to do is vulnerability is strength. It's not a warning light. And I want to start with vulnerability because for too long, we've been told that it's weakness, particularly in our community here. That to be strong, that to be impenetrable, to be emotionless, and always in control. But let's get real. Have you ever had a day where you are just trying to keep it together at work, only to get into your car and cry all the way home? Have you ever smiled and said, yeah, I'm fine, but your face is like, you know that emoji, right? I've been wearing that a lot lately. When you're anything but fine. Have you ever carried the weight of expectations so heavy that you feel like you're running on fumes? Anyone else here in the room, the oldest daughter and the oldest granddaughter on island, feel me here? Talk about weighty expectations. We've all been there, and the truth is, pretending to be unshakable isn't strength. It's freaking exhausting. And real strength comes from owning where you are, what you feel, and what you need. At Inchcape, we talk about innovation. And let me tell you, innovation doesn't happen just by pretending everything is fine and you're happy and hunky-dory, right? It happens when we admit that we know things are not working, when we ask for help, and when we have the courage to do things differently. So let's stop acting like we have to be invincible. Vulnerability is not a malfunction. It is the engine of real connection, growth, and leadership. Step 2, authenticity and empathy. This is your best fuel mix. Let's talk about authenticity. Ladies, how many times have you been told, tone it down? You're too loud. You're too ambitious. You're too confident. You're too opinionated. You're too female. How many times? Plenty times. And so what do? We shrink. We dim our light. We soften our words so we don't hurt their ears. But here's the thing. The world doesn't benefit from you playing small. If you're bold, be bold. Yeah. If you're driven, drive. Yes. If you're passionate, show it. Naanuk. And let's talk about empathy, because people sometimes think being kind means being weak. That if we lead with compassion, that we will get taken advantage of. But that's not true. You can be empathetic and still hold the line. You can be understanding and still enforce your boundaries. It's not mutually exclusive. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. It means being a leader. Kindness is free. Love is free. At Inchcape, we are driving forward a culture of high performance with high integrity. That means we hold people accountable, we make tough decisions, and we lead with respect. And let's get one thing clear. No is a full sentence. Full stop. Setting boundaries isn't mean, it's necessary. Just like a car needs brakes to drive safely, you also need boundaries to move forward without burning out. Number 3, stop giving away your collateral, AKA protect your energy like a limited edition vehicle. I told my daughter she was gonna laugh at all these jokes, man. But you know what's funny? We set boundaries better for our cars than we do for ourselves. We get regular maintenance. We get it washed every week. We only put in the right kind of premium fuel. We don't just let anybody drive it. But when it comes to our own energy, we give it away like it's a free test drive. We overcommit. We overextend. We over-apologize. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So it's time to stop giving away your collateral for free. Be selective about who and what gets your time. Make sure you're investing in yourself as much as you invest in the others around you. And stop apologizing for taking up space, for prioritizing yourself, or for wanting more for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Because, again, back to the car analogy, you are not a used car bargain deal, ladies. You are a premium, high-performing vehicle, and you need to treat yourself like one. Number 4. Everybody's gonna go fill up their car after this with Supreme gas. Number 4, this is important also. Learn to forgive yourself and to talk to that little girl inside of you. And this is something I really want you to take to heart. And we as women are very good at giving grace to everyone around us. We're so good at that because that's what we're taught to do in our community, in our culture. Well, we're terrible about giving grace to ourselves. Why is that? We replay our mistakes in our heads like they're on a 24-hour highlight reel. I should have spoken up. I should have known better. I should have been stronger. Always second-guessing our decisions. Enough. Enough. Na para basta. Forgive yourself. And if you don't know where to start, I want you all right now to close your eyes and just imagine your younger self. Close your eyes and remember yourself as a little girl sitting on the playground, drinking your Hi-C, eating your sembet, looking around at your classmates and thinking to yourself, who, that little girl in your mind who just wanted to be loved, who tried so hard, who sometimes felt like she wasn't enough. Look at her now and tell her, you're okay. You're safe. I've got you. Because you're the only one that can tell her that. Only you. And when you do, that's when you truly accelerate action. So, final thoughts and time to accelerate. Let's make a promise today to stop apologizing, stop shrinking for the comfort of others, to stand tall in our authenticity, lead with empathy, and hold our boundaries without guilt. And make sure you put premium gas in your car and come down to AK to see me for our next car when you're ready, okay? At Inchcape, Accelerate Plus is about pushing the future. But the real acceleration starts with you. You don't need permission to shine. You just need to decide. So let's step on the gas and own our own power. The road ahead is ours. Thank you. Let's rise together. Viva Mes Pamalaan!
That was awesome. That's Tracy Guerrero, the general manager from Atkins Kroll, with that great inspirational message to everybody in attendance. She got a standing ovation off of that also. I mean, what a great speech. I listened to that and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to have my daughter listen to this. Because that's the kind of stuff, and it's the CNMI Women's Association, but like when she's talking about like, think of yourself and talking to that girl inside of you who was there at the playground. I'm like, oh yeah, how about we just talk to them too? Like, I really loved it. And it would have been great to have more people hear that and to reach it. So I want to share that with you guys as well. So holy cow, great stuff. It was moving, and what a great day it was with all the exhibitors that were there, all the supporters that were there, all the organizers who were there. The CNMI Women's Association did a great job with the 11th Annual Women's Summit, and it was wonderful. I was really happy to be there and be a part of it, and I'm really thankful for that opportunity because it's the first one I've been to. I know it just ended up being one of those things I would see in the news. You know, I would be working otherwise somewhere else and not able to get there and all that. And it wasn't something I would be covering before because I wasn't really doing that kind of stuff. It was just really, it is like the stars aligned to make it possible for me to be a part of that. And it really was, it was great. So, yeah, now I can help share that kind of stuff out there a little bit more. But I'm really glad that they chose like the perfect speaker for that So great job, CNMI Women's Association. Really, that was great. And there were so many great presentations to take out of there, too. That was definitely not the only one. There was so many great messages that came from the speakers, from the presenters, from the panelists who were there at the end. It was really moving, and I look forward to seeing more great things from them. All right, we're going to get to more stuff. I want to talk about some of the crazy stuff that happened as well, and there's not a real super smooth segue to do it, so I'm just going to take a real quick commercial break, and that'll break it up a little bit for us, too. But one of the cool things is that that we got to be a part of that, and we'll look forward to doing more of that. All right, we'll see you guys in just a little bit.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. President Trump's downplaying the texting of attack plans to a group chat that included a journalist.
They've made a big deal out of this because we've had 2 perfect months.
He added,
it wasn't classified, so they probably viewed it as being something that wasn't that important. And it obviously, with the attack being, I mean, I don't know if it's been read out to you yet, but that attack was a tremendous success for the U.S.
But Haya Panjwani reports some veterans are upset.
Vietnam veteran Edwin J. Thomas says President Trump's cabinet officials should have known better than to use a non-governmental phone app to discuss top-secret military operations.
I think it's a big deal. Everything should be kept confidential behind closed doors of what they're going to do. That's the worst thing you can do.
Air Force Reserve veteran David Cameron Wright said it made him angry.
Makes me think they don't care about our security. That could give people like ISIS intel to be able to come in here and do us damage. That's not wise.
Both veterans think Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the others should be given a second chance. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The Trump administration says 3 days of talks with Ukraine and Russia have produced an agreement to ensure safe shipping in the Black Sea. President Trump signed an executive order overhauling federal elections. It demands documentary proof of citizenship be added as a requirement for federal voter registration. It also requires all ballots be received by Election Day throughout the country. An appeals court has allowed the Trump administration to stop approving new refugees for entry into the U.S. as a lawsuit plays out of the president's executive order halting the nation's refugee admission system. And the gunman who killed 23 people in a racist attack at an El Paso Walmart in 2019 has been offered a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. Patrick Cruzius has already been sentenced to 90 consecutive life sentences after pleading guilty to federal hate crime charges. This is AP News. Seth Sutel now with the AP Markets Report.
Stocks drifted a bit higher on Wall Street a day after one of their biggest gains of the year. The S&P 500 rose 0.2%. The benchmark index had jumped 1.8% a day earlier. Traders had been hopeful that tariffs being announced next week may not be as sweeping as feared. The Dow Jones Industrial Average edged up just 4 points. That's less than 0.1%. The Nasdaq Composite rose 0.5%. The back and forth on tariffs in recent weeks has dented how American households and businesses feel about the economy. A survey released on Tuesday showed that consumer expectations about the future fell to a 12-year low. Seth Sutel, New York.
And President Trump's recent effort to bolster Tesla's not showing up in European sales yet. Sales of Tesla electric vehicles tumbled 49% in the first 2 months of the year, even as overall sales of EVs in Europe grew. Complaints about Tesla's aging lineup and backlash against CEO Elon Musk seen as factors. I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
Holy cow. Good morning, Marianas. It is 8:26 in the morning, and we played the most recent that just popped off from the Associated Press there to get you all caught up as well. Yes, I know we got you a little earlier, but this was different. This was the most recent that just kicked off, and, well, man, I want to make sure that we cover what's happening federally as well. And I'll tell you, one of the craziest stories that came out was that somehow all the folks who are in a little chat group on Signal with the federal government ended up sharing like battle plans or attack plans on the Houthis in Yemen. Like, oh my gosh. So it is pretty wild, and it is pretty funny that they included, when whoever set up that group included a reporter, and the reporter, to his credit, didn't post all those things online. In fact, when you read what he was saying, he thought that it was a fake group until he saw the actual reports of the attacks that said exactly what happened in the text group. And I'm like, holy smokes, like, wow. And so now there was a little bit of a uproar about that on Capitol Hill. Makes sense. I could see it. Like, again, I don't think that it should be a partisan issue at all, although guaranteed their folks are using that as a device to cut other people down a little bit. But the thing is that everybody on both sides of the aisle should be looking at this as just a major failure, no matter who it was. And then that they're saying, oh, actually, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm like, holy crap, are you kidding? Like, if it was the other guys, I would see them saying, oh, yeah, they should be fired. This would never happen under us and all this other stuff. And then I'm really surprised that there could be that kind of a letdown. Now, you know what? I'm not surprised that they have a chat group amongst all the security heads. I think that makes total sense. I'm surprised that they're using it on a commercially available app, that there's not like a special government signal or a government WhatsApp. Right? There should be, right? That should be something that's controlled for those kind of agencies. That can have a different layer of security than just some app that you can get off the App Store, right? Or you can get off of Google Play. It's just crazy that that's what they're using to talk about those kind of plans. Now, you'll hear the back and forth where they talk about, oh, well, there was nothing classified. I'm like, come on, dude. Really? The plans that you're about to do for a battle plan, that's not classified? Yeah. All right. I get it. And I'm not even getting on the political side of it. I mean, that's something that objectively everybody should agree on. It's like, HFS, can't believe that this got out there. I can't believe that you had some rando reporter in your group. And whoever set up that group, I mean, I can't imagine it's one of these department heads. I imagine maybe it was one of their staffers who they can blame for it. No, because it's only the folks with the phones. And they asked, I saw the interrogation as part of this oversight hearing where they asked Tulsi Gabbard, hey, were you in it? And she would not answer the question. Then they got the CIA head. He's like, yeah, I was in it. So it was crazy. Well, here's a little piece of that. This is not the interrogation part necessarily, but this is part of a briefing. So they already had the Select Committee on Intelligence
They were going to have a meeting in front of the Senate, and so they were given a regular update. So I want to play this part first, and then we'll get to. Oh, here I got to take that part off because that's not there. All right, so here's the first part of it. So let's knock this part out. This is part of a security briefing that they were giving, and now this is, and I think this is interesting for us to hear for sure. So let's do this, and then we'll get into the interrogation part afterwards.
Turning to key state actors, the IC sees China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea engaging in activities that could challenge U.S. capabilities and interests, especially related to our security and economy. These actors are in some cases working together in different areas to target U.S. interests and to protect themselves from U.S. sanctions. At this point, the IC assesses that China is our most capable strategic competitor. Under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, the People's Republic of China seeks to position itself as a leading power on the world stage, economically, technologically, and militarily. Beijing is driven in part by a belief that Washington is pursuing a broad effort to contain China's rise and undermine CCP rule. China's most serious domestic challenge is probably China's slowing economy and potential instability if socioeconomic grievances lead to large-scale unrest. Growing economic tensions with the United States and other countries could also weigh on China's plans for economic growth and domestic job creation. China's military is fielding advanced capabilities, including hypersonic weapons, stealth aircraft, advanced submarines, stronger space and cyber warfare assets, and a larger arsenal of nuclear weapons. While it would like to develop and maintain positive ties with the United States and the Trump administration to advance its interests and avoid conflict, China is building its military capability in part to gain advantage in the event of a military conflict with the United States around the issue of China's efforts toward unification with the Republic of China, or Taiwan. China's military is also expanding its presence in the Asia-Pacific region with a focus on disputed territorial claims in both the East China and South China Seas. Beijing is advancing its cyber capabilities for sophisticated operations aimed at stealing sensitive U.S. government and private sector information and pre-positioning additional asymmetric attack options that may be deployed in a conflict. China's cyber activities have been linked to multiple high-profile breaches, including last year's massive compromise of U.S. telecom infrastructure, commonly referred to as Salt Typhoon. Beijing currently dominates global markets and strategically important supply chains, for example, with the mining and processing of several critical minerals. In December, China imposed an export ban to the United States on gallium, germanium, and antimony, all of which are important to the production of semiconductors and our defense technologies. This was in direct response to U.S. export controls on chips designed to broadly limit PRC access to advanced chips and chip-making equipment. China also aims to compete in other critical global industries, including AI, legacy semiconductor chip production, biomanufacturing and genetic sequencing, and medical and pharmaceutical supply production. Leveraging often heavily state-subsidized production at greater scale, lower costs, and weaker regulatory standards than required in the West, Beijing's strategy has given it a leading position in many parts of these sectors and supply chains that support them. In 2023, for example, China had 5 first-in-class domestic drug approvals and 3 FDA approvals. Turning to Russia. Russia's nuclear and conventional military capabilities, along with its demonstrated economic and military resilience, make it a formidable competitor.
They're going to talk a bit about
Moscow
Russia
has more nuclear
like
weapons than any other nation.
I don't want to get terribly into the Russia part, but I do want to get into more about the back and forth with this one. I got it right there. All right. I want to play that part about China first, just because all the China conversations that we're having here in the CNMI, it definitely seems worth having. Hold on, let's bring this one back.
You are the security executive.
Okay, here we go.
And set access guidelines for classified information. Did you contact the defense secretary or others after this specific military planning was put out and say, hey, we should be doing this in a SCIF?
There was no classified material that was shared in that
signal. So then if there was no classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security. Bobbing and weaving and trying to, filibuster your answer. So please answer the question. If this was Director Gabbard, if this was a rank and file intelligence officer who did this kind of careless behavior, what would you do with them?
Senator, I'll reiterate that there was no classified material that was shared in that
Ma'am, if there's no
signal.
classified in materials, share. And then if there's no classified materials, then you can't even answer the question whether you're on the chat. This is strangely familiar, and I think my colleagues will remember, when you couldn't answer the question, is Edward Snowden a traitor? Ma'am, I have serious doubts about your, anyway. Director Gabbard, I'm going to give you this. Tweeted just 11 days ago, and I'm quoting you. Any unauthorized release of classified information is a violation of the law and will be treated as such. So if this information is classified, what are you going to do?
Senator, 2 points here. First of all, there's a difference between inadvertent release versus
careless and sloppy,
malicious leaks of classified information. The second point is there was no classified information that was on
the
this
information committee should get that information. Director Patel, Director Patel, my time's about out, and I'm going to use my 12 seconds up the chairman gave me. Director Patel, has the FBI launched any investigation of this?
Senator, I was just briefed about it late last night, this morning. I don't have an update.
I would like to get an answer by the end of the day.
At this point in the ordinary course of affairs, I would recognize Senator Collins. She asked me to express to you that she is under the weather this morning. She regrets her absence, but anticipates submitting written questions to which I would request your prompt replies for the senator. Senator Cornyn.
Director Gabbard, I applaud President Trump's efforts to try to bring an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine. I want to read a statement out of the annual threat assessment and just confirm that you agree with this.
Well, we'll get to that later.
By the CIA records management folks.
Hold on.
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, did you?
This is the part that I wanted to get to, where she wouldn't even admit, though, that she was in that group. That was the big thing, because he alluded to that as part of it. So hold on, let's just hear that part.
Bit of senators, I remind everyone,
this was at
there's
the
a
beginning.
vote scheduled at noon. I hope to finish the open portion of this hearing before that vote closes, after which time we'll move to the closed portion. The Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be happy to take your extra 13 seconds, but I want to go back to what I addressed at the outset. I mean, this was not only sloppy, it not only violated all procedures, but if this information had gotten out, American lives could have been lost. The Houthis had this information, could reposition their defensive systems. So I want to get a little more information about this. Director Gabbard, did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, were you on? You're not going to be willing to address. So you're not. Are you denying? Matt, will you answer my question, ma'am? You were not TG on this group chat.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
So you refuse to acknowledge whether you were on this group chat?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security
Council. It's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
As the White House previously
stated, is it classified or non-classified information on this text?
I can confirm.
Director Radcliffe, were you on the group chat?
Senator, I was on a signal messaging group.
So you were the John Ratcliffe on that chat?
I was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I provide some context, Senator, to that?
Yes, but I've got a series of questions.
Well, but I think it's important because at the outset you made a couple of comments about signal messaging using encrypted apps. So that we're clear, one of the first things that happened when I was confirmed as CIA director was signal was loaded onto my computer at the CIA, as it is for most CIA officers. One of the things that I was briefed on very early, Senator, was by the CIA records management folks about the use of signal as a permissible work use. It is, That is a practice that preceded the current administration to the Biden administration.
Director Ratcliffe, I've got a series of questions. If you're making the statement, making the statement, the signal is a secure channel.
No, can I answer that? It is
I've got a series of
end-to-end encryption. So
it is.
to finish,
I understand encryption.
It is permissible to use to communicate and coordinate for work purposes, provided, Senator, that any decisions that are made are also recorded through formal channels. Right. So those were procedures that were implemented. My staff implemented those processes, followed those processes, complied with those processes, and finally, just please. So my communications, to be clear, in a signal message group were entirely permissible and lawful and did not include classified information.
Well, we will make that determination, because if it's not classified, share the text with the committee. Let me go on. Director Gabbard, you are the security executive,
and that's
and set access guidelines for classified information. Did you contact the defense secretary or others after
that's getting
the specific
back into
military
that part where he gives her the business about did you do it? Did you tell everybody to get into a more secure conversation? And at this point, though, she didn't even necessarily say that she was in the chat and started going into, won't deal with the specifics. Now, I think, though, the way he framed the question kind of painted her into a corner. If you take out the part about the Yemeni part, like in the last part of his question, she might have been able to answer it. She might have said yes, but because he had that extra tidbit in there, that would go into some of the specifics of that conversation. So at least say, hey, are you in there? Were you in that group? As we see all these things, are you in that group? And so I think that's where some of the issues are when they play politics on it. But this one, again, objectively, it's not a political thing. It's just a cluster. You know the second word. And somebody screwed up, and so somebody's going to have to be taken to task for it. Who's it going to be? I don't know. I think they all just look stupid. And I say that because I never make mistakes. And I can't even say it without laughing. Like, hey, yep, we boned this one. Say it. Just say it. We boned it. We're not going to use social media messaging apps to discuss how we're doing things going forward. We'll do it in a skiff. Or we'll come up with our own app. The intelligence app, whatever that app is going to be. That's what you need to do. It's kind of silly. I say you might as well do it on Snapchat so you can give really good emojis. But he definitely gave her the business. I do like the update about what they said about China as well, and how that's working out as far as our relationship with them. Now, there's all these things going on about China, but you also see that there's that conversation going on between our envoys, between China and the United States about the relationship and everything. So, interesting times. A lot going on. No shortage of interesting things happening. All right, we're going to get off of that subject for a little bit today. I got a message today from one of our viewers, and it was hilarious when I saw it. It's like, I think the whoever is the marketing person from Bank of Guam might need to change. Hold on. It says, Brad, what do you think about Chris Concepcion leaving NBA to work for the Washington Rep? What's the difference? Well, it goes from local to federal. So, I don't know. I think it's a cool deal. I would do it. First of all, like if I was leading MVA and I got the opportunity to work at a higher calling at the in DC for the for our representative to Congress, yeah, it's a higher calling, I think. So, I'd say good for him. I don't know what his job is. I don't know what he's doing, but I would say that that's again, higher calling thing. Some of his stuff could be subjective. It's up to you what you think about the job that he did when he was with the NBA, but there's a reason why he was there twice under different administrations, and there's a certain amount of expertise that he's got being in that the travel industry and with the tourism industry. And now I don't know. Again, I don't know what his role is with. She said it's for a similar capacity. Oh, all right. Well, did I say great? She sees him as someone that can help advance the cause of the CNMI. Then, I'm up for it. And that's the thing. Like, Chris is a sharp guy. I like him. Some people. That's funny. No, I see people who make some arguments about other folks about like their positions and jobs, and I didn't see anything about this one in particular. So just saying something similar, but objectively, I think you got to support the folks who get those jobs, and I think that's what you got to do. You got to go for it. You have to support the folks who are going to go and do what the job is to try to support the CNMI over there. So it's even like with Kim, she is our representative to the United States House of Representatives, and we want her to do great, and we want her to look great and do a great job for the CNMI. So like any of the stuff that we talk about with her, it's nothing about not wanting her to succeed, because I 100% wanted. I've known her for 20 years. That's not an overstatement, and that's not I've known her for 20 years, and the family and everything like that. I definitely want the best for her and for our CNMI. Oh, Tobot says she called the wrong Chris. Yeah, she should have called you, Tobot. That's right. She should have called you. That's awesome. So I guess that's it. Unless, I think the conversations that I could have would be more about what people are actually doing, and what they actually, if you look at the after action reviews to see how it is, I don't know. I think that's it. Like, until I see something from him, I don't know what he's doing yet. And, if he's going to do good stuff for the CNMI, I'm all for it. So good job. I like him. He seems like a good guy to me. I've never had a bad issue with him or anything like that. So, yeah. So cool. This part's funny, though. Somebody, one of our viewers sent this to me today, and I teased it a little bit here, but let's watch this. Is this the right thing for the Bank of Guam? I know it's coming from Guam, so maybe they don't see it on the CNMI side, but this is their promo. Even the color. This is what's going on over there. There you go. So now you know. So Bank of Guam, there's your free promo. Your savings deserve a boost. Oh my God. If it wasn't this is the thing about reality being even funnier than fiction, right? This is it. This is the current thing from Bank of Guam. Love it. Just absolutely love it. Come on, there. This way I don't have to try to slide over. There we go. Yeah, I love it. The same colors, the same everything. There you go. There's your free promo for Bank of Guam. But that shows how much they're paying attention to what's going on over here. I want to say thanks to our viewer who sent that to me. It sent me a picture because that's in the paper. So I just went online to get their digital version of it. I thought that was outstanding. Just perfect. Couldn't get any better. All right. Hey guys, about 10 minutes left to go in the show today. And man, there's still a lot of cool things happening here in the NMI. And I saw one of the stories in the Variety today where they talked about the child abuse victims last year. These are ridiculously high numbers. And I know that these were numbers that were given during yesterday's, actually, it's a combination. This is like the old thing from the SPJ meeting. But the number of child abuse victims in 2024, as noted by Division of Youth Services under DCCA, 1,474. Now, how are those classified? Well, here's what they are. They sexual abuse case. There's primary victims, there's secondary victims, there's abuse, there's neglect, and all that. And it seems like such a massive number. And to give you an idea, in 2021, there was 863. In 2022, there was 956. That's a pretty big uptick right there, almost 100. And then in 2023, goes up by an even more significant amount to 1,152, and then to 1,474. So the question I have is, what did they change? Did their reporting metrics change? Or are there really like 600 more cases now than there were 4 years ago? Right? I mean, if you just look at like Tinian, 4 years ago they had 44. Then that went down to 20 the following year. It went up to 21 the following year, and then it went down to 16 the following year. You know, pretty steady. How about Rhoda? It went from 9 to 20 to 11 to 29. So it's a little wavy, but it's not as crazy percentage-wise. It seems like a ridiculously high number. So I wonder what changed. Did the behavior of people change? Or did that go to, did they consider something differently? Yeah, everyone is too many. Absolutely. Like, if it was 100 for Saipan, I would think that would be a high number. 1,400, almost 1,500? Jesus. Well, anyway, we got to meet with, we saw Vivian yesterday, and Vivian Sablan from DCCA and DYS, and we're talking about having her come in April. So we're looking at next week to start talking about some of these issues. And it's really sad to hear about it. You know, and I first got to meet her about like DYS stuff when we had the SPJ meeting, the Society for Professional Journalists. And at that time, I was more interested in the taxi driver case with those kids from San Antonio, right? But they couldn't really talk about that, and they couldn't talk about it on the record anyway. And so all the other stuff that they were giving, all the other statistics, you know, I was not really there for it. I wanted, the whole purpose of having that meeting, I wanted to just ask them about the their take on covering that story. Like that's why I thought they were invited, so we could talk specifically about that, right? Not just to hear an update from them, but I want to hear about that. And so all the other statistics they had, like, I wasn't really interested in it. It was literally about this. But now, when we have her come in, I'm totally going to be open to hear all that kind of stuff. And then no putting anybody on the spot or anything like that, but that's it. It says, maybe gone are the times of silence and the victims are speaking up more now. Yeah, I know, but doesn't that seem like such a massive change, Luisa? Like, that, I mean, that's a good point. Maybe that's what changed. But in 4 years, and it's not universal with Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda, right? And I wonder how that looks against Guam's numbers and maybe against Hawaii's numbers, just to see if there was like a major uptick. Like, culturally speaking, you'd think that we'd be in that same kind of realm of cultural empowerment, I guess. Is that the right word or the right phrase that you'd use for something like this? I don't know. I mean, because that could very well be it, right? So, anyway, it's I found it to be a disturbing number when I saw it, and I think that just about everybody would have that same kind of a reaction. It's such a high number, such a high number. Anyway. All right, guys. What else is going on today? What else can we talk? Oh, man, here, let me do this. I want to show you guys this. We have posted this stuff on our page before, and we're going to post it again today after the show. But look, you know, that guy, you saw what happened with that guy over there at the basketball, right? We showed you that video, that crazy basketball game where that guy ended up getting a severe injury, getting medevac to Guam, and, you know, all that stuff over just a beer league basketball game. Oh, hold on. Oh, I got to call those guys back. Those are our friends at NM Posse. Sorry, guys, I'm on the show. All right. People who were watching that were like, wow, there's like nobody there who could really administer care. Yeah, because they didn't know what to do. Well, this one would not necessarily have helped in this situation, but it's a good start because the Western Pacific Training Solutions is offering you the opportunity to be able to save a life for some of those things. Like adult and child CPR training. You can get certified in adult and child CPR, and it doesn't take too long. So when I was at PIC, I was a certified lifeguard, and I was a certified lifesaver for these kind of things. How to use an AED and all that stuff, how to treat folks with suspected spinal injuries and stabilization and all that kind of stuff. This is one of those steps. It would be great if you got the full lifeguard certification, but for this, getting certified with adult CPR and child CPR could be the difference between somebody being alive and someone who's not going to make it. Just watch that video from that basketball. Look at all those people who are just standing around because they don't know what to do. They are not certified in any of those things to do it anyway. What if that's one of your friends? What if that's one of your loved ones? What if that's just someone in the community? Would you rather be that helpless person on the side that doesn't know what to do, or would you rather be the person who can save that person's life? Well, right now you can sign up for this course, and it's taking place this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Now, the spaces are limited, but give them a call, 670-783-4CPR. That's 670-783-4277. Look, you could be the difference between someone surviving and not. Somebody having, if they do survive, you could be the difference between whether or not they have brain damage because of the lack of oxygen to their system for an extended amount of time. You could save somebody who is drowning. You could be saving, a small kid. You could be saving Manamko. You could be saving your spouse. You could be saving your child. Give them a call. 783-4CPR, Western Pacific Training Solutions. They're great folks. They've got well over 20 years each of this kind of experience, and probably more than that. I trust these guys with everything. Holy cow. Let me think about this. Well over 20 years each. I don't know, one of them's, I think he got here before me. That puts him, well, he's going to have to tell me. But still, well over 20 years each for these guys. And this is, again, that's a licensed training provider from the American Red Cross. So you're in good hands dealing with the right folks. All right, guys. That's going to be our show for today. I'm thankful that you guys were here. I'm glad that we got good stuff to talk about because there's plenty. And we'll be back here again tomorrow morning. All right, tomorrow morning. Oh my gosh, hold on. We are going to be here tomorrow morning, but I got to show you. Hold on, let me go here. I got to show you something. Because we're going to end the show earlier tomorrow morning. And we also have a great show tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, we're going to have folks from NOAA are going to be in studio. Hold on. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have Megan Cook and the team from the exploration vessel Nautilus. They're going to be doing a presentation here in the CNMI. They're going to be doing it at Memorial Park, and that's going to be great. They're coming in here tomorrow morning to give us a great interview, and they've got an interview later. Like after us, they got to head down the Crown to do another interview with some folks, but we're going to get them in the morning, so that's worth tuning in for. But after they're done, we are going to get out of here for something else. Hold on, let me scroll to it, and I want to tell you guys about this as well. Tomorrow, can I put this on the screen over here? Go to the share. Man, it's so funny. You're like, oh, you see how I kind of picked up tomorrow morning? Yeah, I know. Is it WhatsApp? Yeah, there it is. This is tomorrow morning. After that interview, oh, you guys can't even see it, but after that interview tomorrow morning, we're going to be heading along Airport Road to welcome back a former Marine who passed away, Jeremy J. Munya Alapuzo. This is a call out, by the way, for all the veterans in the CNMI. If you want to be active and involved in this, this is something that is kind of unique to us because, you know, we get to welcome somebody home who served our country. It doesn't matter what branch you were in. It doesn't matter if you deployed. It doesn't matter if you're VFW or Project Buddy Check. But if you served, it's going to be a show of love and support for one of our own coming home. He's from Saipan, and it's going to be tomorrow morning. The flight should arrive just before 9 o'clock. So we are going to end the show early tomorrow so that we can get up there. In fact, I've got the flag and flagpole in the news van of Justice now, just so I'm ready to go for when I get out of here tomorrow, so I can take my place alongside the other veterans here in the CNMI to welcome them home. I'll show you guys the route that we're looking at for tomorrow too. Here, let's throw that back up there. This is it. So they're going to be taking a little loop around if you could tell the road a little bit, if you could make sense of what you're looking at here. They're going to be coming out of the airport, and that is the route where they're going to be going. There's going to be the fire trucks there, and when they bring his body out of the airport area, they will have the fire trucks there doing the water cannon. So there'll be a salute of like the motorcade with his body is going to pass through as the fire trucks are doing the water spray, the water cannon salute. It's going to be show of support for one of our families here, one of our veterans. And boy, I'll tell you, again, doesn't matter. Maybe you don't join the organizations. Maybe you're in the organizations. You don't go to the meetings. Tell you what, if this was your family and you got to see this kind of show of support, I know it would mean something to you. If you can get out there, do it. Don't worry. I don't have a shirt or the cap. Don't worry. It doesn't matter if you have the uniform. If you got a flag, great, bring it. If you got like a shirt or a cap or something like that, you can wear that too. But going out there and lining that road, it means something. It means something. In our small community like this is something special. And I hope to see you guys out there too. So tomorrow we do have that really cool interview early. And then this is why we're going to leave the show early tomorrow so that we can be out there with you. All right, folks. Hold on. Let me see if there's a little bit more info on there. 1 second. I'm just reading this long chain. It says, here's the route from the airport to the funeral home. Note the fire trucks. There will be a water salute at the West Gate entrance. And so, so we're going to basically be over there. Instead of lining the whole airport road, that's where we know for sure that they're going. It looks like they're going to be taking the back road down there. Okay. Great. And so that's what I got. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And that's what we got for you today. We'll be back tomorrow morning early. We'll have that great interview, and then we're going to get out of here, and then we're going to go welcome our brother home. All right, so have a great day, and I hope this is the best day you had so far. I mean, I hope they get better after that, too. But hopefully this is the best one. See you tomorrow morning, folks.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami, greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views, it's always so much fun on Good Morning Marianas.